Yes, good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again. I hope we had a lovely weekend. So today I'm just going to dive straight into web development. Today we're covering web development for the next 3-4 days. So basic programming skills is running for 4 days. Then on Friday we shall run. I think it is cybersecurity. I will confirm, but basic programming skills is running from today until Thursday. So web development in particular is running from Monday to Wednesday. Then Thursday we shall look at something else. So web development was split into two. First bit of it, the first bit of the web development is this, the WordPress, where you can we're all going to learn from scratch how to build a website from scratch, and at the end of it you will be able to build any kind of website, okay, at the end of this course. In the evening session, Cedric is going to be covering the other part of web development, which is the coding bit of it. So you get to know how these languages interact with each other. You get to learn the basics of how these languages interact with each other in code to form a website. For me, his course is, he will explain further, but it is difficult to study every single aspect of it. That's why the outline is called basic programming. Sorry, I'll just edit this. Programming skills. So that's why the course outline is basic programming skills. However, like we said, the purpose of this training is to make sure that the purpose of this training is to make sure everyone carries away a skill that they can earn from. Okay, by the end of it, you should have a skill that you're earning from, and we have the basic. Web development as one of those skills. So in that case, I am teaching the web development that by the end of the day, you can build a website, any kind of website, dynamically from scratch. So Cedric is teaching the more technical bit of it, the more code, not technical, it's all technical, but how to code, okay? How these languages interact with each other to, to make a website, okay? That's the traditional way to code our website. I'm teaching the other, what we call the content management system that is used to build a website faster, okay? So that at the end of the day, you can build a website from scratch. So I'm going to jump right into it. The tool that we're using is known as WordPress, okay? This is web development. So we're going to learn to build a website from scratch. For those who have computers, actually, like I said in the orientation, a computer is a must-have. A laptop, we will advise on what kind of laptop will run best. Some of the softwares, but I advise that you must have a laptop. For web development particularly, you must have a laptop. So let's dive into it. The tool that we're using to build our websites is WordPress. So this is a complete guide to WordPress development from scratch. So on our agenda, this is the course outline. There is understanding WordPress and the CMS. CMS is a short form of content management system. Its features, what it's made of, and then getting started, and then themes and templates, and then plugins, and then a code editor. Then 6 is WooCommerce configuration and setting up an online store or e-commerce store. The number 7 is Visual Core, which is how do you basically set up HTML, CSS, PHP in a code editor. And then number 8, which is lastly migration from a local server to a live site. Yeah. So like you can see, it's way too much to cover. We have to cover these 8 topics today, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And by the end of Thursday, we should be right here on number 8. I mean, yes, by the end of Thursday, we should have covered this number 8, migration from a local server to a live server, which means you will be hosting your live website, okay, that you build from scratch. So we have limited time to cover all these topics, so please keep time again, okay. So about the tutorial, WordPress is an open source content management system. Like I told you, we're using WordPress entirely for this course. So WordPress is an open source content management system for users to build dynamic websites and blog. So what content management system means, we're going to look at that. What open source means is softwares that are free, okay, and open to and certified by a regulatory board, and they are open for developers to make them better. You can make it better. You can make changes to it. It's a whole community. That's what open source is. It's free. So it's open source, and it's a CMS that you can use to build websites and any blogs. Then WordPress is the most popular blogging system on the web. Okay, it's the most used tool to build websites on the web. If you look at the percentage of websites that are built using WordPress, then that confirms that. Well, you can Google as we speak. You can Google the market share of WordPress on the internet. How many websites are built using WordPress? You will see that WordPress is the biggest tool used to build websites currently. You can Google which companies have their websites built using WordPress. You will see Samsung, Mercedes, Toyota. And it's the biggest companies in the world. Some of the biggest companies in the world have their websites built using WordPress. So that's how important a tool it is. It allows updating, customizing, and managing the website from its back end CMS and components. So basically, what a website is made up of two parts. Okay, the first part is the front end, what we call the front end. Okay, and the second part is called the back end. So the front end is basically what the users see when they go to your website, and how they interact with it and all that. So when they type in your URL, which is the universal resource locator URL, or the what do they call it? That, a link to your website. Anyway, once someone clicks on your website and they go to your website, they are going to see the front page and what they can do with your website. That is what we call the front end. And the back end is made up of just data and databases, and the back end powers the front end. So the front end is made up of three basic languages. The first language is called HTML, which is a hypertext markup language. What that language does is it builds the blocks. Okay, think of a building. When they're setting up a building, the first thing they set up is the skeleton. Okay, the skeleton, or the foundation. That is what HTML is, like the building blocks of a website. Okay, the body and the structure. The second the second language used in the front end is called CSS, which is cascading style sheets. It's a styling language, which, think of a building again. After they built the structure of a building, they will make the walls nice and paint them into different colors and put all these, all that stuff to make the building look good. That is what that language does. It styles. Okay, you only add styling to your website. That is what CSS does. And what the third language that is used in the front end is JavaScript. So JavaScript is a programming language. So programming languages tell computers what to do. So a programming language adds functionality to the website. So JavaScript does add functionality to your website. Think of a building still. So HTML is the structure. CSS is like making the building look pretty. That is making the walls smooth and then painting them different colors and adding all that kind of stuff just to make it look good. And JavaScript is a function. Let's say you enter that building and it has an elevator. So when you press the button, you command the elevator to open and maybe take you to a specific floor of that building. So let's say that building is our website. HTML is the structure of that building. So that HTML is a language that structures the website. CSS is just the structure, is the language that makes the building look pretty. And that is the painting and, the padding of the walls and, the sizes. That is styling. You're just adding beauty and styling to the building. Yeah. So what CSS does, it is cascading style sheets. It's a styling language, and it adds, beauty to the website. That is font sizes, font colors, that kind of stuff, background colors. that to the website. That's what it does. Okay, it just styles. Then JavaScript is literally a programming language, and what it does is it adds functions to the website. Okay, in case you want your website to do this, you want your website to add, when someone clicks here, this is what it does. That is a function. That is what JavaScript does. Okay, so that is the front end. It's made up of those three languages. HTML and CSS are not programming languages. Okay, HTML is a markup language. CSS is a styling language. JavaScript, however, is a programming language. So programming languages are just those languages that tell computers what to do. HTML cannot tell a computer what to do. CSS cannot tell a computer what to do. But JavaScript does tell a computer what to do. That's why it adds functionality to your website. So the back end is literally made up of mostly PHP, which is the database. Which people will be attending? Is it open to anyone or only to those who have prior knowledge? And my answer is anyone. Okay, as long as you know how to use a computer, as long as you can type, this tutorial is for you. So if you have basic knowledge of HTML and CSS, well and good, but those without any prior knowledge are also welcome to study. So you don't need any prior knowledge, to study this tutorial. Then after this tutorial, you will have a moderate level of expertise in developing sites or blogs using WordPress. So we are starting from scratch, so you don't need to have any prior knowledge. Okay. So here is what the basics are. WordPress is an open source. Like I said, it's open source, so it's free, and it's a CMS. And what a CMS is a content management system for users to build dynamic websites and blogs. 49% of websites are built with WordPress. Like we can see that it says as of 2024, over 835 million websites are built using WordPress, which is about 43.2% of all websites on the internet. WordPress is the most popular content management system and is used by many Fortune 500 companies, including NBC, CNN, and FL. So you can also go ahead and the statistics differ some, but it's currently coming to 50% of all websites. Okay, it's coming to very soon. It's going to be half of the websites on the internet built using WordPress. So like you can see some of these charts, the statistics do differ, but the highest number, like if you look at that chart, about 43.7% of all sites are built using WordPress. So it is the most used tool to build websites currently, and that's why we are teaching it for those who wish to earn from web development. We are using WordPress. So WordPress is 14. I will update this, but where I had read the statistics, it was close to 49% of websites that are built using WordPress. And by it's predicted by the end of which quarter of 2025, it will be close to 50% of all websites. So imagine 50% of all websites on the web, on the internet, being built using WordPress. So the other 50% is shared by the others. Okay, there are other content management systems, and then there are other people who are building websites from scratch, using code and what. So they share the other half, all that. So that's how popular this tool is. And then WordPress is the most popular blogging system on the web and allows updating, customizing, and managing the website from its managed CMS. What a content management system is, basically it's a software that stores data. So what a website is basically is data, and the data is made up of text and media. Okay, it is made up of files that have contained text and media. So that is just text, words, and then the media includes pictures, videos, audio, and music, photos. That is what media is. So what a content management system does, or CMS, it stores all that data and it makes it available for editing, makes it available for publishing, and modifying that content. So that's what a content management system is. Okay, so when we say WordPress is a CMS or content management system, that is what it means. It's just a software that stores all that data. So what WordPress is made of, it is made of code. So it's made of essentially HTML and CSS and JavaScript, which makes the front end. So like I explained before, the front end of a website is made up of three languages: a markup language, a styling language, and a programming language. And that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then it's the back end is made up of database, and the back end powers the front end. So what WordPress is made up of, you can see here, raw code files including HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then there is PHP, and then there is media files which are photos and videos and audios or music or any of that. So it's also made up of themes. Themes just dictate how the core code is displayed and interacts with visitors. Okay, so what WordPress does, it gets this code and it puts all this in what we call themes. And most of these terms, I'm going to run through them. I'm going to really explain most of them because we need to get to the practical bit of this and start today. So I'm going to run through them real fast. I'm going to share the notes in the group. You can go through the course in detail, so that you can go ahead or you can better understand some of these things. But most of them are better understood practically. So we're going to be more practical than most of this presentation. So themes just dictate how the code is displayed. It's the appearance, like literally the appearance of your website. How does it look like? So they just dictate how your code is displayed and how it interacts with visitors. And then the other part of WordPress is plugins. Okay, so what plugins are? They add functionality to your website. Okay, like just like JavaScript adds functionality to the website. That's what plugins do in this case in WordPress. Okay, so we're going to see the word plugins a lot. We're going to use the word plugins a lot. We are going to use plugins a lot. So what plugins are? They are basic pieces of software that add functionality to your website. And then because these are separate, users can customize, they can reuse, and they can extend any of these. Okay, so it's flexible. You can change your website at any time. You can sit down and change the theme at any time. You can add or remove plugins at any time. You can access the source code of your website, of your WordPress website, anytime. Okay, so these are the features of WordPress. So I'm going to run through them really, but later you can read what the features are. Okay, it has exchangeable design, it has extendable functionalities, it has a core code, it is mobile friendly. Like you can build a website for any platform. Okay, you can build a website for the web, and how it will you can design how it will look on a laptop, how it will look on a mobile device, how it will look on a tablet, and how it will look on a wider screen. Okay, you can customize your website in any of these forms. So those are just some of the features. And then it has a built-in workflow. You can write and draft and review, and you can publish it. It has intelligent text. So most of these, in the interest of time, these are readable. So they are easy to understand. You can add search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is a whole topic that we shall look at in a later stage. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it should be on Friday. I think it's the last topic of basic programming. So you can add search engine optimization. We shall see what search engine optimization is and why it's so important. I'm very sure some of us have heard of search engine optimization. There's people who are earning, like their job is just to optimize. Okay, that is their job, and they earn from that. So you can integrate with many tools and languages using WordPress. It is scalable, So these are just features. Okay, what are the features of WordPress? That is them. So you will go through that when I share the document in the group after the this lecture. And then we're looking at the major terms. Okay, these are words that we're going to see a lot. So what a theme is a design and layout package that you can choose for your blog. Okay, how you design, how you want your website to appear. That is what a theme is, basically. Then the content, for example, posts are separate from the visual appearance, and it takes only minutes to install and start using a new theme. So if you have to change the appearance of your website, you can change it overnight. That's how flexible WordPress is. If you have to change the appearance of your website from code, from the CSS, and you have to change the web pages and the colors and everything, it takes a while. Okay, for those who attend the evening lectures, you will learn how these languages interact with each other to make all those changes. And the morning lecture is how simple this is made using WordPress. And then there are many good free and low-cost themes online. The second major term is plugins, and plugins are relatively small pieces of web software that can be installed on any WordPress site. Even you can build a plugin if you know the knowledge. and you know the languages that are used to build plugins, you can build your own plugin. So what plugins do, they extend the native functionality to do almost anything that a web can allow. Let's say, for example, just like the word is literally plug in, you do plug something in. Okay, so let's say my computer has no Bluetooth function, okay, or it has no Wi-Fi function. What I'll buy is a small Bluetooth module that I can plug into my laptop. Once I plug that small thing into my laptop, then all of a sudden that function of Bluetooth is added onto my computer. Okay, if it has no Wi-Fi, I cannot use Wi-Fi. It has no function of Wi-Fi. I just buy that small Wi-Fi, and plug it in. Once I plug it into my laptop, usually it is made of USB. Once I plug it into my laptop, all of a sudden my laptop can now access Wi-Fi. So that's a function that has been added to the laptop. Just like that, there are pieces of web software that can be installed on a website to add that particular function. Okay, and that is what plugins do. So Janet is asking, does the customization for different devices need to be done individually? If you're coding, if you're writing your website using code, yes, you need to customize it differently on all devices. If you there are certain content management systems that only build for one device, a particular device. So you need to, do it differently for different devices. But what WordPress does, it makes it easy for you to build for all devices all at once. What you do is you look at what we call responsive mode. So it will show you how your website is looking on a computer. It will show you how your website is looking on a mobile device or on a tablet, in landscape mode, in portrait mode, so that you can edit it accordingly and it will look good on all devices. Or can you build one device and then it is adapted to the different devices? So what again, you build once in the process of building. Once you look at the responsive mode, which you're going to look at shortly, you can build that website on different devices easily. You can customize it accordingly. So plugins, that's just a question in the comment section that I was answering. So plugins are just small pieces of web software. Let's say you don't have mobile money. You have an online payment. Let's say you have an online shop or e-commerce store, and then there is, let's say, like Jumia. So the website of Jumia, if you do not have mobile money, you add a plugin for mobile money. Okay, you just download the plugin, install it, and use it. Once you add that plugin, mobile money is added to your website, just like that. Okay, that's a function. Someone can pay using mobile money. So those are just some of the functions. You need to add security to your website. What you do is you install the plugin for security, and recommended plugins for different functions are in this in these slides. And when I share, we shall look at which later we shall look at which plugins are must-haves, which plugins must you have on your website. Okay, and then what function do they do? So we shall look at that later. So you're going to hear the word plugin a lot. And then every WordPress site or blog can work with an unlimited number of plugins. Okay, you can add as many plugins as you want. However, that is not recommended because some plugins are not very verified. Like you have to go through, especially the newest plugins, you have to go through the reviews and make sure it is safe to add it to your website. Some plugins do slow down your website, and you'll find a very slow website. Some of us, like try to scroll on a website, and when you open another page on a website, it takes way too long to load, and it is so slow. Okay, that's what the disadvantage of having way too many plugins. You don't know which plugin is slowing down your website. Okay, so the most popular plugins, what they do is protection, search engine optimization, caching, social media integration, interactive contact forms, and backups. Okay, so these are some of the most important plugins, and you should have them on your website once you start. And then what widgets are, we shall see that practically, but widgets are simplified versions of plugins commonly used for in sidebars of your site. So our phones do have widgets. I don't know if you've noticed the arrangement of content using widgets. So just like you can use widgets to arrange apps or arrange your phone in a certain way, widgets are also used to arrange content and the software in a certain way. And basically that's what widgets are. So most themes provide you with a widget area where you can display widgets. So what a blog is, what a post is. A blog, every entry into a blog is a post. So I think we all know what a blog is. Like a blog is literally a platform blogs have gone beyond websites, but initially blogs were websites which provide information on one particular topic, okay, or different particular topics. So they just keep on providing you with information, okay, like news blogs, cooking blogs, or food blogs, and politics blogs, So platforms that provide you constant information, okay. But now they are beyond websites. They are on social media platforms, and so that's what a blog is. So any entry into a blog is called a post. I think we all know what a post is, basically. So every post usually has a number of different parts. It has content, and it has a title and content. And then the timely order of posts. Every post is publication time, has a publication time stamp, and most of them have one or more categories. So you can go through some of these things, and like it says here, posts are displayed in verse chronological order, which means the newest post is always at the top. Let's say most of us have Twitter, Facebook, or X, Twitter or X, and Facebook and Instagram. Whenever I post something, the newest comes up at the top, right? And the oldest keep going down. So that's what reverse chronological order is. So most of these times I'm going to skip blog categories and tags. Some of these things we're going to see when we start, what menus are, what pages are, what the homepage is. The homepage is the main page that visitors see when they visit your website by typing in your domain or your address. And then, like it says in earlier versions of WordPress, a homepage is just another page generated by a content management system. But recently, WordPress built a completely custom homepage and displays whatever content we wish on it. So you add when WordPress started, it was just it was a custom page. You could not add just a lot, but now you can build a homepage from scratch. You can add menus and all that. And then users, these are people who are like, if you start building a website, you're the administrator of that website. So still, once we start, we're going to look at what users are. And that's the first topic. That is understanding the tool that we are using to build a website. We're understanding WordPress. So the second thing is we're going to get started locally. So basically how a website works, if you open up your browser, there's two parts. There is a client and there is a server. So when you go to a website, first of all, you do command and then you get a response. So let's say you open up your browser and type in www.google.com or https://google.com. What you're doing is you are commanding for that information to be fetched. Okay, so let's say your computer or your browser, if you're using the browser on your phone, if you're using Chrome on your phone or Mozilla or Opera Mini, that browser is what we call a client. So the client commands the server. So the server is where all this information is hosted or kept. So what the server does, it does fetch the information on the particular page or the particular information that you're requesting and sends a response back to the client. Okay. So once you type in a URL or the name of that website or particular page, you are commanding the server to give you a response so that you can see the displayed information. Okay. So your browser is the client, it goes to the server, and then the server does provide a response. So there is let's understanding what a server is. Okay, so we're going to see what we local server and all that. A local server basically is when the website is hosted on your computer. Okay, only on your computer. And when you're building a website, you only have it hosted on your computer initially. Then once you're done, you move it onto a live server so that everyone on the internet can see it. Okay, that's how we build a website using WordPress. Even when you're using code, when you're coding a website from scratch, you do, first of all, you do code it, then you add it. You do code it on your computer as the computer of your local server. Then afterwards, you do what? You upload it onto a live server so that everyone on the internet can see your website. So like we said earlier, WordPress is free, open source, and it is released under the GNU, General Public. So so any modified version is required to maintain the same open source freedom that the GPL provides for buyers and users to modify and redistribute. So WordPress is downloadable. You can set up WordPress on an external web host. You install it manually, or you can perform basic tasks. And then you can perform basic tasks in the WordPress admin panel. So installing WordPress via a web host. In many scenarios, users install and use WordPress on a live website that's publicly visible. Go to one of the popular hosting companies and you rent a server space. So renting a server space is what we call hosting, and we shall come to that. and then you install WordPress on that server. And this process is simple, and the hosting company usually takes care of all the technical steps. So what we do is we build site. What we do is we first build it locally. There are those who want to build it on the live server, but it means that as you're making changes, people can view on the internet your raw website. So it doesn't really look good for people to be accessing what doesn't look good. So you build it perfectly, and then you upload it onto the live server. But then the major advantage is that you are free from having to worry about the server configurations and all that. The minor disadvantage is that you don't get the education value of installing WordPress by hand. Then WordPress hoster, what you need to consider for a host, your budget. So you can look at later after today's course, you can look at what hosts power WordPress, like which hosts can I use power WordPress website, or which host can I use for my site. So it depends on the budget, the number of sites hosted, and how many visitors that that website can potentially get. So these are some of the factors you consider while choosing a host. And then is Git available? Cedric will look into detail what Git is. So if you want to understand GIT, what it means or what it does and what it is, please ensure to attend the evening classes by Cedric. And then security. The security is that host secure? And then there is a blue note at the side, at the bottom. You see, SE8 uses the SiteGround hosting. So this is just like my gift to you is that a couple of initial websites that you build, I will host for free, because I do have a hosting platform that I can host your website for free. Okay, just the first initial websites I will host for particular individuals for free, or for anyone from this class I will host for free. Be it your client, be it your personal website, be it your friend's business. If you come up with a website, I'll do a timeline, I will host it for free. Okay. And then there is a detail to that note. And then we're going to dive right into installing WordPress locally. So unlike installing WordPress on a hoster, you can manually install it on a local server. What a local server means is that your website is going to be live only on your computer. Okay, no one else will see it on the internet. It will have no address, it will have no, but it will be on your computer as you're building it. Okay, and after that process, then you can do what? You can upgrade it on a live server or a live host. Some remote servers might not have auto install feature and all that. You don't need access to a live web server to develop and test WordPress. You can only deploy and test it using what we call local. And today we are looking at local. By the end of today's tutorial, we're going to look at local and how you turn your computer into a local server so that you can build a website from scratch. So it is easy, and it's not rocket science. How to install WordPress. So now we're going to the practical bit of it. So how do you install WordPress onto your computer? How do you start building a site on your computer? So on your browser, this is the link. This is the website where you download the local server software. Okay, it's called local. That local WP is available for all these operating systems. In case you're using Mac, in case you're using Windows, and in case you're using Linux. So before I dive into, is everything clear? Is so far? Is everything clear so far? Okay, thank you. I get that some thumbs up. So someone asked for the registration form. If I mean the attendance form, please look at your chat. Right there in the chat, the registration form has been shared. So please endeavor to register. Okay, so this is very, very important to us. So today I might go over a couple of minutes. I might go over maybe 20 minutes. Let's see. But the point is, there is a point we have to get to, and that's where we're going to end today. So we are going to look at local. How do you install WordPress on your computer, first of all? How do you start building? How do you provide the environment? Because there is always a development environment. You've heard of SDK in programming. It is what we usually refer to as the software development kit. Okay, so for certain programming languages, you have to turn your computer into a favorable development language or environment for that language to run. So for us to build a website, we have to provide a certain environment for that website to allow us use our computer as a server. Okay, you remember the client server relationship between the browser and the server. So in this case, we are going to use the browsers on our laptops still. Whether you have Chrome, whether you have Mozilla, whatever browser you have running, that's going to be our browser. The client, however, is going to be a server, and that server is going to be our computer or laptop. Okay, and that is why we are referring it to as local, because it's a local server. Only you can see that website until it is uploaded onto a live host or a live server. Then everyone on the internet can see that website. So what we do is we first build this website locally, then afterwards we share it, okay, onto a live server or a live host. So let's dig right into it. I'm going to share my my screen. Like it says in the notes, go to, if you have your computer right now, if you have some internet on and it's quite fast, because I'm going to run through this, and later the assignment is you practice until where we have ended today. Okay, you practice until where we have ended today. So you go to local, okay, localwp.com, which just allow me to share a new. Okay, there we go. I hope we can all see my my browser. I'm using Mozilla, so it's localwp.com. I hope we can all see this. So my site is called local. I mean my URL. Okay, again, where you download this software is localwp.com. Just type into your browser localwp.com. Okay, so on the top right corner is the download item on the menu. Okay, where it says download, you click on download. Well, it says my download will be starting because I had initiated that, but if I could go back, local go localwp.com. Once you click on download, it shows choose your platform. So the platform is your operating system. If you're using a MacBook, if you're using Windows, or if you're using Linux. So I'm using Windows 11. So I will click Windows. First name, last name doesn't really matter. And then they tell you choose your organization type. Okay. So organization type is, are you using it as a freelancer or an individual? Are you the only person using your computer, or is it an agency? Like, do you share your computer to use the software? So either way, you can choose agency, you can use, it doesn't really matter. You can choose any. And then your work email, that is essential. So that is my email, and you click get it now. Once you click get it now, it will tell you where, ask, where to save that download. Mine is under downloads, you can see. And matter of fact, in this, let me just share my entire screen. Once you click on download, it will ask you, where you want to save your download, and mine is under downloads right there. And once you click save, it will start downloading. Okay, again, there you go, it's about 635 MBs, and I'm not going to download it because I already downloaded it onto my computer, but that's how you download it. So once you've downloaded local, you go to your computer, you go to downloads, okay, and look for that software. Mine it's right here. Okay, so once you download it, this is how it look like. I hope my screen is clear. So once you download it, this is how it will look like. Okay, it says local 9.0.5. They update its versions a lot. Okay, so I don't know what versions you will download. Some computers can't run certain versions, so just download the one that you want. Yeah? Then you install it. Okay, after you download local, you install it. To install it, you have just it's the normal installation procedure. Double click on it and it will start. It says running, and then a pop-up window will come. Choose installation options. Please select whether you wish to make the software able to all users or just yourself. Okay. So anyone can use it, anyone who uses this computer can use the software, or is it only me? So I can say anyone can use it anyway, because it's my computer and anyone uses it. But in case anyone else needs to use it on my computer, I will let them. So when I click on next, I wait a bit, it will start installation process. There we go. So it asks for these administration permissions. If you do reject any, then the software will not run in your what? In your computer. Once you start this once you start these websites, they will be having errors, they will not be opening, but it's because you did ignore some of these administrator permissions. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to this device? What changes? If you want, you can see the details of that, but I know it is a safe software to install onto my computer, so I'll click yes and accept all the permissions. Okay, it is safe. It is 100% safe. It will not corrupt. It does not add any miscellaneous code or items onto your computer. Okay, so it tells you choose the installation location. I always go with the default. It is installing it on Drive C. I click install. The required space, you can see the required space is 1.8 GB. The available space is 131 GB on my computer. So I have enough space to install local. So make sure you have enough space. Okay, it requires about 1.8 GB to install onto your computer. So I click install and it will start installing. There we go. Please have it in mind that I already have this installed on my computer. I'm just going through it to show you the installation process local. And still, even if you have it installed, you can reinstall it. So it's running. So it depends on how fast your computer is, but installation shouldn't take so long. It's just a couple of minutes, very few minutes. So it's a straightforward installation process. If you have ever installed any software onto your computer, this is not any different. Okay, it's the same. Accept the administration permissions. Do you allow it to be installed? Yes. Do you allow it? No. So just like that, I'm done. Okay, complete the local setup. So it says it is finished. Local has been installed on your computer. Click finish to close setup. Okay, so I am going to click finish. So like it says run local, which means open the app or the application or the software on my computer. So I've finished to set it up, and there we go. It starts, it opens up, and there we go. So like you can see in my local site, there was this. So the demonstration that I'm just going to leave in anyway. But no, let me just delete this and we start from scratch. But that is how you install local. Let me just delete this so that there is no confusion. I want my local to be empty. Okay, it's asking for permission to delete. There we go. So this is the environment that we are always going to start our websites. Okay, this is the environment that turns our computers into local servers. That is why it's called local. Okay, so we shall look at what some of these are, but it says, looks like you haven't created any sites. So before this, sometimes there's a few notes you read and agree to some, you just read through. Okay, but this is how you install local. Okay, I'm just going to go back to yes, the presentation was off because I was switching. Is it clear now? Is everyone able to see now?
Right, yeah.
Yes, okay. The presentation was off because I was switching to my screen to show you the live screen, because it goes faster and you see exactly how to install that. Only that that's this mirroring, you can see multiple. But I hope so far it's okay. Can you see? Have we all got clear how can I get the version of that software on Mac? Yes. Again, on the website, you will remember where it says. Again, let me show you. Someone has just asked now if they can get the version of that software on Mac. I don't know if you were following, but when you're downloading it here, they tell you, please choose your platform. And we all see that. Once you click on and choose your platform, it says Mac. You see that? Please choose your platform. Is it Mac? And which MacBook is it? Does it have an Intel chip or does it have an Apple Silicon chip? So you choose which Mac you're using. And is it Windows? For my case, I'm using Windows, like we can all see. So I chose Windows while downloading it. So you choose the platform for your operating system. If you choose the wrong, for example, I'm using Windows. If I choose Mac, it will not work. Okay, if you choose Linux, it will not work. So you choose what platform, what operating system that you're using, and then is that clear? I stopped following immediately after downloading. Please take us through the setup process. Okay. Success said they stopped following after downloading. So again, in the notes, all these steps are, if I can share the presentation. In the presentation, I did add all these steps. So if you do follow the presentation, you get the steps, how to install it. After downloading, this is how you install, up to the setup, and then you agree to the terms, and yeah, and then that is the window would be that. But I'm going to go through it again. Okay. So you can see Loco is already installed on my computer anyway, but let me reinstall. Okay. So after you have downloaded, you look at your downloads. Okay. Once you okay. Once you go through your downloads, sorry, I'll close this window. Oh, it's only last week until last month. The list. So like you can see, I did download this software earlier this year. So I've not downloaded it again, but once you download it, it will be in your downloads or wherever you saved the download. Okay. If you don't save it on your desktop, it will be on desktop. So this is the software that you've just downloaded. Okay. So after downloading it, you install it. Okay. To install it onto your computer, just double click on it or left click and click open. And then it will start the installation process. Okay. Success, please pay attention. So once you double click on the download, on the item that you've downloaded, it will look like this. It will have a green icon that says local and the version and the operating system, which is Windows. So I'm using Windows, so I downloaded the Windows version of the application. Okay. So you double click on it and it will start the installation process. Once it starts the installation process, it will ask you choose installation options. Who should this application be installed for? Okay. Is it anyone who uses this computer or is it only me? Anyway, I'm the only user of my computer, so I can choose any. If anyone else wants to use Loco on my computer, they can use it. If it's just me, then yeah. So once you choose, you click next. Okay. And once you click next, you just wait. Okay, just wait. The installation process has started. So this installation depends on how fast your computer is. Okay. So just wait, and then this pop-up window will also come up, which is the administrator permission. Okay. Before you install any software on a computer, it does ask for permission. Okay, and most times it warns you if a software is corrupted or if it is not verified. It wants you to tell you this software is not verified. Would you like to install it on your computer anyway? But here it says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? So that the changes it's going to make on my computer is it's going to make an environment that makes it easy or that makes it able for my computer to develop a website. Okay, that's why it asks for this. You see, they say the details. The origin is it's that, then all that. Then you accept. Okay, you click yes. If you click no, then Loco will not be installed. Okay. Then it says choose installation location. Okay, choose the folder in which to install Loco. Okay, so it shows the size of the application. It's 1.8 GB, and it shows the space that is available on my computer, and that is 1.31 GB. So once I select, I choose, I click install. Okay, for me, I leave it on the default. It does install it on Drive C under program files. So I just install it there. I just click install, and then I let the computer install it. So far, is it okay? So still installation depends on how fast your computer is. That is your RAM and the processor. What processor is it that you're using? But it has minimum requirements for your computer that I will share later. So local starts installing onto your computer. Okay, this is where Success has asked, and I'm repeating the process. It's just installing. So I'm coming back. Please recommend some stable internet data options or providers that work well. I do use when I'm at home. This is the first day that I'm not at home because I had an early morning schedule. I had to drop a friend of mine at the airport, so I was stuck in between. I had to park and start the class. So I am using MTN. Okay, I use MTN in my router, in my Wi-Fi box, in the MiFi. I do use MTN, but when I'm at home, like the rest of the lectures, I do use Canal Box, which is it's wireless, but how do they call it? It is cable. Yeah, it is so I don't know. I really don't know, but depending on your budget, at home I do use wireless. You know, I use Canal Box. I don't know which one is available in your area. There is Canal. There is Zuku Fiber. There is MTN Fiber. There is Airtel Fiber now. There is Savannah Fiber. So I don't know. Depending on what is available in your area, I do recommend that you can get fiber. Okay, it's really cheap. It's cheap compared to buying mobile internet. Mobile internet is really expensive. So Jen has recommended, as asked for a recommendation. That is my recommendation. After installing, do you keep using internet in building the website? Yes, very important question. So after installing, you do not need internet. Okay, the only place that you need internet is installing plugins. When you're installing plugins, you do need internet. Okay, but to edit changes, you do not need internet for that. Is that clear? I will demonstrate that. We're already out of time. We're 15 minutes on. Let's just push it to 30 minutes. But you do not need internet to make changes while you know, the website is being constructed locally or built locally. No, you don't need internet. The only time you need internet if you're installing a new theme or if you're installing a new plugin. Then in that case, you need to connect to the internet. So going back to the installation. So like you can see, completing the after I had clicked install, I let it install and I click finish. And after then let it run. And that means that after installation, it's going to open up immediately. Okay. So once it opens up, it will, for the first time on your computer, it will show these slides. This one has not, because local was already installed in my computer anyway. I've just reinstalled it. But this from here, it will show you an agreement like this. So you click on the small box that says I have read and I agree. So you click on green agree. Then is it okay to use this? You can choose no thanks. I always turn this reporting off because I don't want those emails from them. They send too many emails. So I say no thanks, and then it opens. So this is where we are. Once you start local WP, you will see the following screen where you can click to create a new site. Okay. So before I go ahead, in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to start a site. Okay. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to start a site, and that's where I'm going to end today. But so far where we are, is it clear? Is that clear? Installation of local, it's quite precise, right? And again, if you're having challenges, you can let me know. Sometimes it does fail. Sometimes the installation process ends in the middle and fails. But like you have seen my computer, nothing failed, okay? There was no error. There was no what. It installed completely. So if on your computer, it has failed to install, and you accepted the admin permission that, you know, you like local to make these changes to your computer, and you accepted that. If it fails, then you know that your computer cannot run that software. You have to get a computer that can run that software. If I check my specifications, maybe let me share. Computer should be able to it should be good enough at least, because you can see mine has a RAM of 16 GB. Okay, it has a RAM of 16 GB. So I recommend 8 GB, at least 8 GB RAM for your computer. The computer you have, I'm going to share the requirements in the group again, but the device that you're using should have at least 8 GB of RAM. The processor, i5, i3, it doesn't really matter. Mine is octa-core, 8 CPUs, quad-core, dual core is okay. It should be 64-bit. Okay, operating system. Mine is Windows 11 Pro 64-bit. If it is Windows 10, it should be 64-bit. The minimum requirement for local to run is 64-bit operating system. Okay, so these are just the minimum requirements that you need for local to run on your computer. So if in the installation, we're going to have people asking in the group and on the lecture that, you know what, my computer showed this. Tomorrow, please come back. I need a couple of people to share the screens with local installed already. If you have challenges installing, I need you to share tomorrow to share your screen, please. This is how we learn, because the challenges come up, and once someone chooses the challenge, we solve it. That is learning from each other, right? That is interactive learning. Today, it's something new, so we are running through it. But tomorrow, please, after this lecture, just download local. After downloading it, set up. So if it failed to come tomorrow, show us. Share in the group, show me the error that is showing. Sometimes it does fail to, but then minimum requirements, yeah? The minimum requirements that your computer should should have. So I'm going to go back to local and I'm going to start a new website. Okay. So you see where it says create new site. Once I click on create new site, it says at the top, create a site. Okay, this is our website. So the first option is create a website and then sign up a new WordPress or headless WordPress site. Okay, so that is what I want to do. I want to create a new site. If you have a blueprint, what we call a blueprint, I'm going to explain what a blueprint is. That if you have a blueprint, it says start a new site with a pre-installed elements like plugins and themes. Then it has what is this? You can click on it to read further. And then if you have a site that you are developing on another computer and you just like to move it onto this computer and continue developing it, then it is saved as a zip once you export it. We're going to look at how to export that site. It is saved as a zip. Okay, so you select a zip, or you can drag it and here drop it here, which we are also going to shall demonstrate later. You can select or drag it there and import. But now I have not built the site yet, so I'm going to click on create a new site. I'm going to just create a new site. Okay, then at the lower bottom there is continue. Once I click on continue, it will say what is the name of the site that I'm building. Okay, is it a site for a school? Is it for a hotel? Is it, you know? So let's say Imperial Hotel has told me to build them a website. So Imperial Hotels. Okay, so it says what is the name of your site? Imperial Hotels. So there is an option here that says advanced options. Just ignore this. Okay, the domain name and the site and all path and all that, just leave it. Okay, just click Imperial Hotels, the name of the site. Now again, I advise when you're choosing the name of the hotel of the site, if you're choosing the name of the site, I repeat, do not make a very long name. Okay, do not make a name with special characters or very many special characters. Just choose a name that is simple. It is just a name. Okay, it's not a domain name. It is not the name of the site. It is, you can change the name of that site anytime. Okay, it is not how the name of the site is going to be on the internet. No, it is the name of the site in local, or the name of the site you're building anyway. Don't make it complicated. Okay, I should not put Imperial Hotels Uganda Limited. That is so long. Yeah, so these names bring issues when you're launching your site. Very long names bring issues. Okay, or Imperial Imperial, then I put I don't know what side, Imperial, those kind of, you know, characters. Avoid putting any of those characters. Yeah, any of those characters, because your local server interprets them differently, so they do cause problems while you are launching your site or when you're opening it up. So choose a very, very simple name. So Imperial Hotels, when I click continue, you see there are steps here: set up a site, set up an environment, and set up WordPress. So what's your site name? You click on continue. Then it says the site is done. Then I'll set up the environment. So it says choose your environment. So it says preferred and custom. Okay, under preferred, it has chosen for you the most preferred PHP version. And then, so these are the parts that make up a server. Okay, these are the parts that make up a server. And these are the configuration of our local server. So local has chosen for us the most, how should I say it? the most basic environment for developing this website. It has chosen a PHP version, it has chosen a web server, and it has chosen a database, which is MySQL version 8.016. So that is the environment that local has chosen for me. However, if you know your environment, you can choose a PHP version, you can choose a server, you can choose a database, which it is complicated. Okay, you will start the server and it is not working. You will start this and the website is not working, because these are complicated. These are for people who know their software development environments. Yeah. So it will choose for you a preferred environment anyway. So always choose preferred. Okay, it is the best environment that your computer can have, and you click continue. Once you click on continue, they ask me my WordPress username. I can choose any username. It's not really important. I can say my username is Israel, and the password. Okay. So there's two things that you are always going to access the dashboard with. Okay. There's two things that you're always going to access the WordPress dashboard with. Your site dashboard. Okay. And those two things are the username and the password. Okay, just like you only log into Twitter or X or Instagram or Facebook using your username and password, you should know the username that you used and the password you used. Otherwise, you can't log into the dashboard of that website. Okay, so username and password. Okay, so usually for tutorials, I choose a very easy username and password. So my username I'll say is root and my password is root. Okay, just for the sake of remembrance. So there's options here. Still ignore all this. If it's a multi-site or what, just ignore that. And then your email. So your email, in case you forgot, but don't forget. Don't mind this. I'm going to put in the email, but you'll see where you can update and change the email and all that. So the username and the password are very important. So once I'm done with that, I click on add site. You see add site? On the bottom right corner, there is add site. So I click on add site. So local will start adding that site onto the server, onto the local server. It will add the provision services. You can see it is setting up the site, then it will set up WordPress, and it will set up the whole environment in which your site can run. And now when you're setting up the site again, there's that notification that comes up, okay? The administration permission. Do you want to allow this app to make changes? Windows command processor, I click yes. Sometimes when you're setting up a site, it has too many permissions that are being asked, especially for the first time. So I click yes. Always click yes. Okay. So it says installing WordPress, adding WordPress. Sometimes it asks C++ is being installed. This is being installed and it is asking for permission. So while you're setting up the site, it is very important to remember all the permissions and accept all of them. Any of them, they keep popping up anyway. Like it is saying adding WordPress and all that, but they will keep, especially if I'm adding sites for the first time. If I've just installed local for the first time onto my computer, there's a lot of permissions that will keep coming up. Okay, so you accept all of them. So it is adding that site onto the local server, like we can all see. It's already 10:30. Just give me a couple of minutes. I know I've gone over time, but like I advised last week, we might go over time a couple of days because there is too much to cover. So please bear with me. And it takes quite a while because now once it is there, we go. It has been added. It says Imperial Hotels has been added. Okay. So your website has been added onto the local server. Okay. There is what we call so you should be able to see what server, the PHP version, the database, the WordPress version. You should be able to see that. Okay. So again, while adding this site, some people will have errors at the top here. Okay. There will be some words in red at the top here. So once when you're installing it, accept all the permissions. If you don't accept all those permissions, you'll have those errors at the top here. Okay. So do not worry about all the stuff that you see here. It's not important. Okay. It doesn't matter. So it's just local has set up the development environment for us. Okay. So just on the right, beside the three dots right besides the name of the website. Once you click on that, a number of options comes up. Okay. It says go to site and the dashboard admin. So go to site. This what you see open site is the same as what you see here as open site. Okay. This open site is the same as this. Then admin dashboard is this WP admin, okay, WordPress admin. Then go to site folder. Site folder is where the site is stored on my computer. So once I click on go to site folder, it's going to open up. You can see it's blinking red here. So this is local Israel, and then you can see local sites and imperial hotels. So this is where the site the files of that website are stored in my computer. Okay, so these are the files. Do not delete anything in these folders. Okay, do not delete anything here. Okay, when someone deletes any folder or anything in this, the new site will not run. Okay, it will have issues. So again, once we look at site shell, is just the permissions, or anyway, just ignore that. It's not really important. If you want, you can have a look at what the site shell is, but it's not important. Okay, it will open up the command prompt and it will show you the local environment variables. Okay, the version is Windows 64-bit. Like I told you, it requires at least 64-bit to run the software. So the version in the SQL, this is the database and all. That's what site shell is anyway. But it's not important. Don't worry about that. And then it says restart. So you notice that in the corner here, there is stop site. So sometimes you have multiple sites running. There is this site, there is another site. There's like 10 sites. This is not the computer that I use for developing my website, so it's empty. I use this for teaching. But sometimes there is multiple sites running in here. So you can stop one site and start another. There is a sign here that says stop. Okay. Once you stop it, it stops running. You see? Then it says green, start site. Okay. Once you click start site, you can restart it, which means it has been running. So you can restart, you can stop it here. So the stop site thing is what you see up here, that says start. Once you start the site, it starts running. What does it mean to start running? We shall see. But there is start there, and then there is restart here. In case it is acting up, I can restart it. I can clone this site, I can export it, and I can save as a blueprint. Remember when we were starting right here, below here, there is a plus sign, which says add a local site. So once I click on add, there is this create a blueprint. You see that? Create a blueprint. So what a blueprint is once you click here, there is save as a blueprint. What a blueprint is you want to save it almost exactly the same site. I think we all have an idea what a blueprint is. A blueprint of a building is like the initial plan and the structure of the entire building, including plumbing, including the electricals, that on the plan. Okay, I think we all know what a blueprint of the building is. So you can save that as a shell of this website, so that when you're building another site that is similar to this site, it imports almost everything as the other site. Okay, that is a blueprint. To export this very site, you click on export where you see export. Once I click on export, a site is always exported as a zip file. Okay, so it tells me what kind of format or file exclusion folder that I want to export it as, but I just leave any. Okay, so I will say export file. Once I click on export file, it's going to ask me where I'd like to, save this export, and I will click downloads anyway, and then say export. Once you click export, it will say exporting site. So what exporting does is, in case I've been using it on local in this computer, and I need to move that site to use it on another computer, because local is only the local server on this computer. So this website has been live only on this computer, but then I need to use it on another computer. Let's say if I had borrowed this computer, this laptop that I'm using today, and I'm now home and I want to use my own laptop. How do I move it from this computer? I export it, and that was the process of exporting. You go up here and you click export, and then the formats, it doesn't matter, just leave them like they are. Then you click export, then you choose where you'd like to export it. So if I go to my computer and I go to downloads, you will notice there is a zip file named Imperial Hotels. So that zip file contains all the files, all the folders of that website. Okay, so what I do is I just click like this on it. I can just drag it. If I've exported it like this, I save it on a flash drive, and then on the computer that I'm moving it onto, I install local, or if local is already installed onto the new computer that I'm using it, I just drag. Okay, I click and drag it. Okay, once you drag, you notice that local tells you drop to import. Okay, you can drop to import. So if I drop it there, it will start importing that site. So I'm going to import the site from an archive. You click continue until you finish importing it. I'm going to import it because it's the same site that is running here. Okay, or that is how you import a site from one local device to another local device. Okay, or I can click here and then it says here select an existing zip or drag your file into the window to import as a site. Okay, do you see that? I go as if I'm starting a new website. In the left bottom corner, there is add site icon, that like a small plus that has add site. Once I click on it, it tells me select an existing zip. So once I click on it, my zip is in downloads. This is just another way to import it. Then once I open, it is right there, Imperial Hotels. So once I click on it, it says open, then it starts importing that site. Okay, that is how you move it from one computer or device to another laptop or computer to start working on that site. That is in case you need to move it. Okay, that is what these items are. There is change domain name. There is don't mind this. It's a local server, so it really doesn't have a new domain name. You can rename it. Okay. So my site is called Imperial Hotels. So I can rename it. I can give it a new name. Maybe just Imperial. Then I rename it. Once I rename it, you can see that the name has changed. Okay, so you can rename it anytime, like I told you, but make the name always simple, make it precise, don't make it very complicated. Okay, so that's how you name. That's the options. Okay, so now to really access this site, I click on to open the site. Opening the site means I want to see how does this website look like. Okay, so currently this is how the site looks like. It says Imperial Hotels. It says blog. It says hello world. And it says welcome to WordPress. This is your first post. Edit or delete it, then start writing. Okay. So sorry, that is just where is Mozilla? So this is like you can see, it says Imperial Hotels. That is the name of the site. Then it says my browser is warning me that this site is not secure. Of course, it is not secure, but it because its domain name does not have a security protocol attached to it. I think okay, my battery is running low, but I'm going to end here. But this is what I'm going to pick up tomorrow. So please download local, install it onto your computer. So tomorrow we are looking at this site entirely. How do you edit the entire site? How do you edit, remove this, add that? How do you choose which kind of website you want to build? How do you add themes and plugins? How do you remove plugins? So for today, this is it. But this not your message is just ignore it because this website is only live on my server. That's why it says imperialhotels.local. Okay, .local.com, not .what, it's not on the internet. It's only live on my server. So my browser says it's not secure because local does not have a security protocol to it. We all know websites have security protocols attached to them. Their name, there's HTTPS. It's an internet, okay, and then there is HTTPS, okay, which is HTTP but secure. Okay, so we shall look at this in detail when we're uploading or when you're choosing domain names and how to secure your website. But for now, this is where we're ending today. It's almost 11 p.m. I am sorry, but it is a lot to cover. Tomorrow, same time, I'll open still at 8:15 for us to allow 15 minutes for people to join. The first 15 minutes have to join. So if you join 15 minutes earlier, please just join and wait, okay? Because at 9 a.m. exactly, I am starting. I'm starting from where I'm leaving off today because of time, okay? So please keep time tomorrow. And for now, a computer, please install local, download it, install it, and up to where we are now. I'm going to share the notes. If you want to go a little over how we've ended, you can go ahead. Okay, you can read ahead, you can go ahead of us, so that when going through it tomorrow, you're revisiting. In case you want to wait for us to go on tomorrow, please do. If you don't have a computer, I recommend that please, if you can find a computer, please do. Because these notes I'm going to share cannot single-handedly do, okay? You need help, we need to work together. You need to do as we do. And how you're going to perfect this, because by the time we're going into the festive break, that break for the festive season, we are going to be able to build a website. So my assignment at the end of this first break is after the festive season, please, you should have sent me a website that you want me to host for you for free. Okay, I'm hosting for free. You don't have to pay time. You only have to pay for a domain name, of which everyone pays for a domain name. Okay, you only have domain names are cheap, $9, $10. That is like 35K, 20K. It depends on what domain name you want or the extension. We shall look at that at the end of the course. But at the end, right before the break of the festive season, I'll expect everyone to send me a website, okay, to post for you. At least, even if it is your individual website talking about your freelance, because whether you're going to do database management, whether you're going to whatever course you want to do, you should at least have an online presence, a profile of your own. Okay, and that is a website of your own. Okay, so in case you have no business to build a website for, well and good, send me your portfolio website and I host it for you. You should be able to do that, and that's why this course is mandatory. If you look at that row in the Excel sheet, it is mandatory. So please, tomorrow I expect everyone to have downloaded and installed local and end where we have today. Okay, we're going to pick right here exactly at 9 a.m. So feel free during the day. Today I usually stay home, so I'm going to be at home. Feel free to engage me while installing this. Where did you find challenges? Where do you need help? Where haven't you understood? I haven't gone through the if you delete accidentally, what do you do? So what I recommend is always backup. We shall see how to backup. So does it work with the internet? No, I'll show you at the end of it. I'll show you what requires internet and then what does not require internet. But most of what we've gone through, only downloading requires internet. So far, only downloading requires internet. So the rest of what we've done does not require internet. So but if you delete accidentally, you should always have a backup. So you can export it just like I've exported this. When it is still local, you can have that. This zip is my backup. So in case I delete it, I just drag it and put it back into local. Then I still have my site anyway. Okay. So I hope that answers the question. In case you delete it accidentally, you just drag it, have a backup of it so that you can just put it back on. So, and it takes a lot of steps to delete it. It cannot be accidental. Look at this. I go to here, then I click delete. Once I click delete, it brings this. You want to this, then you delete. It is too hard to delete accidentally. Yeah, it's very many steps. You can't delete it accidentally. So please don't delete it anyway. But in case you delete accidentally, export it so that you have a backup. This is where I'm going to end today. Unless anyone has a question, I am ending. Thank you. Stay safe and blessed.